Hey, brothers and sisters, Christ, he showed a little bullshit. Y'all, it's something here. I want to discuss with y'all. Thank you, Lord. The Lord gave me this message, right? And we're gonna go through some stuff He gave me too, y'all. But He told me separation from the new generation, from the next generation of the Lord. He told me Satan is separating His children, y'all. He says separation from the next generation of the Lord. And then he says sins from within. Satan pretends to be everyone's friend, but self-destruction at the end. And then the Lord talking me about our children, y'all. Because let me tell you this, what the Lord telling me. He gave me divination, sanitation, rejuvenation. He gave me those words, right? So I looked those words up. Divination means witchcraft, familiar spirits, soothsayers, right? That what divination mean. Because the Lord took me back. I seen this woman was delivering these little girls. And these little girls, you know how they was demon possessed. And the demon was telling them that the girl promised to owe them their life. And so the woman asked the little girl, asked the demon, how she owe you the life? And so when the girl came back to, talking, the girl said that Satan, these demons come to them as their imaginary friend, y'all. Familiar spirits, familiar spirits, the Lord say soothsayers, familiar spirits, y'all. Witchcraft, these demons come to these kids like imaginary friends, promising these kids stuff. And then they just don't know they getting inside the kids and they promising their life. So the Lord got me on this, y'all. He said divination. He said this is how Satan come in with our next generation. Because also with my dream I told y'all I seen a little boy with the man that was driving in the snow, and the little boy was behind the man. And it looked like he was doing magical powers. So the Lord told me, He said, divination. So He gave me divination, and then He gave me Deuteronomy 18:10. Y'all, so I'm going to go through some scriptures. Because He told me these soothsayers, these familiar spirits coming to these kids, talking to our kids, the next generation. Then He took me back to that woman delivered that little girl, and the little girl said that she made promises. They have imaginary friends. And that was, the Lord said right here, Satan pretends to be everyone's friends, but self-destruction at the end. He said separation from the next generation of the Lord. Sins within, the kids. Satan coming to these kids as imaginary friends, to your children, y'all, and using familiar spirits. Because they think it's somebody that they know, y'all. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy. Y'all, bullshit. Handy handoroboku. That shit. Ema handoroboku. Hey, shit, bullshit. Y'all, Lord is telling me this. Deuteronomy. Because He giving me examples. He told me to look this up. Deuteronomy 18:10, y'all. And most people thinking they kids probably say they talking to people. And we know this happening. Familiar spirits. Talking to these kids, y'all. These demons talking to these kids. Having these kids to make pacts with them. Just like that girl was getting delivered. 18:10. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 18:10. Y'all know put these scriptures at the bottom. The Lord taking us somewhere, y'all. Okay, 18:10. And it said avoid wicked customs. And then it's 10, it says, there shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughters pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who predicts omens of a sorcery, or one who conquers spells, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or a spiritualist, or one who calls up the dead. For all these who does these things are an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord, your God, drives them out from before you. And also, some of these people, kids, these parents doing this stuff too. Because also, I looked at one of them videos. The woman was getting delivered and her daughter too, because they was doing witchcraft, said it been passed down through the family. Familiar spirits and stuff. So these people be seeing their kids doing this, and demons coming to these people kids. So look, He says soothsayers. And then He gave me divination. He told me to look up this Deuteronomy 18:10. And that's what He said. Let's go from 9 to 10. I'm going to put these scriptures at the bottom. When you come into the land which the Lord your God is giving you, you should not learn to follow the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone to make his son or daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interrupts omens, or interprets, one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conquers spells, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or one who calls up the dead. For all who does these things are abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord your God drives them out before you. Because also when the Lord be telling us about people with their kids, sacrificing their kids, their children. And they sacrificing their children also with dealing with all this stuff, this witchcraft stuff, these demons. That's what the Lord says, separation from the next generation of the Lord, sins within. And some of these parents, we know what they doing these tarot card readings and everything. And that's what the Lord say, nations. And that's why he say, don't idolize me like people do, like these nations do with they God, because they sacrifice their children. And he said they'll have their children as offerings. And then the next day he told us about they sacrificing their children to demons. Y'all, this is a whole nother thing the Lord got us on right now, y'all. Divination, that's why God said people need to get delivered. Because people also, these kids, you got to understand, these kids around their parents and stuff doing this stuff. And then some of these imaginary, even if the parents not doing it from their children, they might be behind closed doors and opening doors to these demons to come in. These demons coming to these kids. The Lord said, right here, he said, Satan pretends to be everyone's friend, but the self-destruction at the end. He's telling me about the new generation. He said divination, soothsayers, witchcraft. Okay, then he gave me Samuel 15:23. Yeah, shout out. Thank you, Lord. Y'all, we got to pray for our children. And then the parents, y'all, the more the Lord be talking, this is so deep. Only God knows that. That's why we got to ask wisdom from the Lord, y'all. Go to the Lord about everything. Samuel 15:23. Samuel 15:23, y'all. Samuel. I don't know if that's 1 Samuel 3:28. Let me see. I got it on my phone, y'all, because I've been looking up stuff. Let's hold on. Oh, y'all. The Lord got me in this. And this is why he's saying speak the truth. Don't let nobody tell you. Because people. Okay. Ooh, y'all. Okay. 1 Samuel 15:23. 1 Samuel 15:23. I'm going to put these scriptures at the bottom, y'all, too. 1 Samuel 3:28. Yeah, he told me about, and then, you know what? I had a dream, something with familiar spirits, too, and I had to pray over that, too, and rebuke that. Because they come at something y'all, you know, they coming at us in our dreams. You know they coming at the children. These kids got imaginary friends. I remember that little girl got rebuked. Got delivered. And said she made a pact with an imaginary friend that come to her and promising them these things. Satan, the devil is a lie. He tell you coming to our children. Samuel 15. Lord Jesus. This is why, y'all, we got to go to God about everything and talk to your kids. Have a relationship with your children, y'all. 15:23. Talk to your children. See what's going on with them. People always building their children, throwing their children off to the side. 15:23. For the rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. Rebellion. And then you see how they be rebellious? They don't want to listen to you, nothing like that, because these demons talking to these kids, and these kids got demons inside of them. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as an iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he also has rejected you from being a king and obey their voice. Because also we speaking the truth. People rebellious, they don't want to hear it also. It go for everybody. Ain't nobody exempt, because the Lord said, he gave us a revelation. He said the big and the small with the mark of the beast. That's why God told us to continue to speak the truth. Because he said rebellious is a sign of witchcraft, stubbornness is an iniquity and idolatry. Because they have rejected the word of the Lord, he also has rejected you from being king. That's what he gave me right there, talking about in there. Okay, let's go to 2 Kings 17:17, y'all. Lord have mercy, y'all. Y'all, it's so sad. 4:45. And these parents too, they under a spell. Sacrificing their children, y'all. And why I say people don't be knowing what they doing. Their mind is all clouded up. They under this stuff, these spells and stuff. 2 King 17:17. The Lord bringing me back when that little girl got delivered from that. No, y'all pay attention when God show you something. He be talking to you through stuff. Because I didn't even think he was going to tell me about this. Brought this back up to me. 17:17. 14. Okay, here we go right here. 17:17, y'all. And they caused their sons and daughters to pass through the fire, practicing witchcraft and suicides, and sold themselves to the devil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. See, why the Lord said he told my kids with these scriptures? Y'all, it's so sad, y'all. The Lord started speaking. He gave me these scriptures. I didn't even read them. I'm reading them with y'all. Lord, people even ain't with their children, y'all. And they provoking the Lord with anger. Let's go to Acts 16. Y'all, it's so sad. Lord have mercy. 16 to 24, and these children don't even know no better. 13:35. Lord. These babies don't even know no better. Thinking these things, they friends and stuff, and they parents and stuff, and wish they on with this stuff, and generation curses, and Lord have mercy. Poor babies, y'all. And the parents too. Okay, 16 through 24. Acts 16 through 24. It say, now it happened, as we went to prayer, that a certain slave girl possessed with a spirit of divination. See, divination, I didn't know this word was in the word. Met us brought up, look, y'all gotta excuse me. Oh, met us, who brought her master, and they're talking about a girl who brought up a master much profit by fortune telling. This girl followed Paul and us and cried out, saying, these men are servants of the Most High God, who proclaim to us the way of salvation. And this she did with many days. And remember, the girl was a familiar spirit because she was following them and monitoring, familiar and monitoring spirit. The Lord brought us back to this. And see how the little girl, and remember I told you that vision, the Lord had me with that little girl with the black eyes, and it had the crown on her head, because Satan out there with these children, y'all. And it says, but Paul greatly annoyed, turned and said to the spirit, I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her. And he came out that very hour. But when her master saw that their hope of profit was gone, they seized Paul and Silas and dragged them into the marketplace of authorities. And also the masters. Some of these people go along with their kids. Got their kids, training their kids in this stuff. Because profit, money. The Lord steady talking the same thing, y'all. Okay, let's go to, he gave me, y'all got to excuse me because this is just, the Lord just gave me this. James 1:5. Let's see what the Lord saying. $14.81. Lord have mercy. Y'all, and the Lord speaking so much with these kids. I didn't even know this was in these scriptures with these children. Talking about children. He just gave me divination and told me to look up gave me these scriptures. Divination. What I said, Lord, James 1:5. Thank you, Father, because see how my mind, Satan is a lie. James 1-5. I wonder why he gave me that, y'all. Let me get him out. Let me see what else notes. Because I'm going to put the definition down on this stuff too, y'all. Okay, because I had to look up what divination was. Proclamation. And then the Lord had told me yesterday too about also the Church of the Latter-day Saints. They believe Jesus and Lucifer are brothers. Even though they believe in Jesus, but they believe they brother. And that's a lie, because Jesus Christ came as a spirit. He is son of God. And Lucifer is an angel. So also you got to be careful in different, this why you trying to tell me different religions and stuff. Got people mindset. Traditions, religions, doctrines, false doctrines. You got to be careful, y'all. Thank you, Lord. He brought that back to me. Y'all. Oh, Lord. Y'all, this is sad. And then that's what he gave me, 1 James 1:5, talking about wisdom. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, that it will be given unto you. That's why I told y'all, go to God about everything. He our first. Don't go to ungodly counsel. He the first one you should go to. He give us wisdom and knowledge and his understanding, y'all. Because I'm wondering why he tell me this, and I'm just, and y'all. And the Lord had me, just with me in tongues, speaking into a different language to have communication with him, y'all. Y'all go to God and talk to God about everything. Lord have mercy, help us, Lord. And then he told me about sanitation, and he was telling us that we need to clean, like he gave us sanitation in the words in the Bible. Ezekiel 16:4. As for your birth, the day you were born, your navel cord was not cut, nor were you washed with water of cleansing, but you are rubbed with salt and even wrapped out in cloth. Talking about you getting cleansed in the Lord Jesus, because we were born into sin. But then you have the Lord Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit. He cleans you, make you over. Sanitation. He's saying people need to be delivered. Need to get from these things. And he told me sanitation and rejuvenation. Y'all looked up what rejuvenation mean, y'all. Oh, Lord. And divination, it means, even in Hebrew, it means foretelling, talking about soothsayers and witchcraft, familiar spirits. These talking to these kids, talking to these babies. Satan going through talking to these kids. And rejuvenation means the action of a process of giving giving something new, to restore a youth appearance to something. We need to rejuvenate, make the children old over again, y'all. Invite the Lord. Talk to your kids about the Lord. The Lord trying to cleanse the children up. Lord have mercy. And also he said to make young and youth again, because also when we walk with the Lord, he said you got to be like-minded like a child. And your mindset. This what even while Satan trying to take over these children imagination. Your imagination. Also with this stuff, this media and all this coming through kids' mindsets. Because a child is young and they innocent, and so they learning stuff. When we supposed to be like that too. A new walking in like a child in the Lord, so he can give us a new understanding, give a new mindset. Y'all, the Lord speaks so much of this. I'm gonna put them definitions at the bottom, y'all. Lord Jesus. And he restored, and the Lord talking about restoring. I'll tell you, these kids, y'all, so much. Just don't think we ain't the only one going through stuff. These kids is too. But people, I always see every time I see a little child or something. Yesterday I seen somebody, parents started giving them the phone like this. Satan just coming through, wiping the kids' mind, saying these little baby look like number like 2 or 3. Starting off early. Then they getting up in here thinking Satan gonna come as an imaginary friend to them. Say for instance, they like Pokemon. Here comes Satan coming as a Pokemon, a familiar spirit. We're familiar to these kids. They think these cartoon characters, just don't know these demons. Coming to these kids, sweeping these kids' mindset and stuff. Y'all, that's what God said. This is an imaginary land. Satan, the prince of the air. And then when the Lord gave me about Job, when he told in Job, and he had to say where you going, say something running to and fro on the land, on this earth. Running around. Seeking who he can devour like a roaring lion, even with the children. Y'all. I had to get this to y'all. Get a relationship with your kids, y'all. Talk to your kids, and then you wonder why your kids rebellious, ain't stubborn, and acting out these demons inside these kids. Even in the adults, they don't even want to listen. Like God said, you speak the truth, they'll turn against you. Y'all be blessed in Jesus' name, knowing things will never be the same. Worship and glorify His holy name. Take our time with your children, y'all. Lord have mercy.